I am so excited today. We have a two-part series with Erin Addesso of Triple Threat Success. Guys, she is going to drop some nuggets that you will not believe. Stay tuned. If you haven't listened to the first part, take a listen. If you have, do be sure to listen to the second part. The fact of the matter is, whether you've been in network marketing for years or just a few days, your family and friends have seen your opportunity and your phone is, as we call it, burnt. If you're anything like me, that's a scary thought. So the big question is, how do entrepreneurs like us, who love the network marketing profession, who no longer want to be that guy, and are tired of convincing people during uncomfortable let's get coffee meetings where they say, what's this all about? How do we market in a way that aligns us with our dream clients and expands our network of upfront and transparent professionals, allowing us to get our time back, our families back, and gain a real passive asset? People like us who value impact over income, we deserve to see our visions once and for all. Join me in this podcast where we'll uncover just how to do that. My name is Eric Sablon. Welcome to Burnt Phone Marketing.
But once you get that, then all of a sudden you become much better, you know? You're like, oh, okay, I got this. I got to be like 10 times myself. So if you're a 10Xer, you got to be 10 times yourself in order to be that one time on video. It's really how it works. It's like video kind of numbs you a little. It like dulls you down, even the most excitable people, because in person I'm pretty excitable, but on video the first time I was like, whoa, who are you? You are boring, you know? So, yeah, so publishing made my whole business, and I continue to publish. I have hundreds of videos on my university, repurposing it. I told you I want to start a podcast because I have so much stuff that I want to get going, and it's just like finding the who now. I don't want to know how to do a podcast. I just want to like give them all the content and be like, hey, can you just build this shit? Like, and then go at it, right? Because I know that that's just another modality that you have to use. Like some people learn through listening, some people like to watch, some people read, and we have to make sure as good business people, we accommodate all of those modalities.
Right.
So, yeah. So those would be my tips is do it, know that it's steep, fall on your ass, break a wrist, hurt your ass, do whatever, learn the lessons, keep doing it, and be 200 times yourself in order to really deliver at 100%.
Those are huge nuggets because, a lot of people, when they come on video, they're boring. They are boring and they don't know, but I mean, they can take over a room when they talk to people, but then boom, when they get on video, they're like totally critiquing themselves. And I like what you said about that. It's like, you know what, if you think the video is boring, it may be boring. However, it may have resonated with part of your audience. And the 1 to 100 versus the 1 to 1 meetings. Oh, I'm better 1 to 1. No, you're better 1 to 100 in 30 minutes.
Exactly. And sales is numbers. It really is. And everybody knows that. Like there's certain people that are better at closing. They're natural. They're good closers. Yeah. So they might close at a higher percentage. Well, if that's the case, then damn, definitely do video because you'll close at a higher percentage there too. But it's just giving you the ability to do video gives you numbers right away. Right. So if you're closing at, 5 out of 50, well, then if you can get 50 in 30 minutes, well, do a video. Right?
Yeah, video.
Exactly. It's like, it seems really silly not to just give it a whirl, and that is the thing. If it's the first time you do feel like you're boring, that probably is that you need to up your ante just a bit and just up yourself, close the door. Don't be embarrassed. Be like, up your excitement. If you have to drink a rockstar like the first time, then do it. But then once you know like the vibe that you need to have on video, then you'll always be that person on video. And I've gotten so good at just my phone is like my friend. Like I talk to my phone like all the time. Like I love this phone, and I think people like then they think I'm talking to them, right? Because I really am like talking to them. It's never really my phone. I'm always picturing a client, or I'm picturing like a person that I know I can seriously impact. Like whenever I'm like looking at the camera, I'm like, okay, that's like a human being, and this is my time to like have that one moment where I can make a difference, right? Like, and I say this to you too, is like, we have one chance to like make a difference in their life, and you never know who's watching, right? And if we don't give them our all in that exact moment, and maybe we didn't have that chance to make that impact, we're leaving legacy behind. And the only way to leave a positive legacy is to make sure that every single interaction is a positive one. Now, will that happen all the time? No, like we're going to falter and we're going to fail. And sometimes we're not going to feel like ourselves, and you're going to have a bad encounter, and you got to know, like, learn from that. Why did that happen? How do I learn from it? Move on, right? Like, that's the other thing I had learned big time as an entrepreneur. Like, don't beat myself up when I miss an opportunity. Like, the biggest thing is, like, you get back in your car and you're like, and I know you've probably done this, you're like, I should have done it that way. Like, he gave me that. I should have listened. That he gave me that. I didn't even respond to his, like, and you're like, man, and then you get to the whole thing where, like, I suck at this and I'm not very good and blah, blah, blah. But what I realize is, like, in those moments of reflection where I see what I did wrong, I have to not get mad at myself. I have to be excited with myself that I saw that shit. Because sometimes you don't even know enough to give yourself negative feedback, right? Like, you can't, like, there's all this, like, talk out there about, like, talk to yourself nicely and all that stuff. And that's where I connect with David Goggins, because talk to yourself nicely, that's not real. If you talk to yourself nicely all the time, you can't get better. It's like you have to accept that you're gonna screw up, but, like, what's more important is, like, accepting it and then, like, take that lesson and learn from it.
Yeah. So one time I was actually, I was pitching my boss on something, and he gave me the opportunity, and I didn't say what I was supposed to say. I walked out and I was like, never again will that happen. Like, he was asking me, how much is it? And I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I was been like, I should have just said, boom, it's this much. And it would have been a done deal. Yeah. So yeah, that was one of those things where I got in the car and I just beat myself up. But then I did exactly what you said. It's like, never again. It will never happen. And just as long as you know that any sales encounter, like, when you see it, to be able to see it and to know that this is what's not going to happen the next time is a huge nugget for yourself. Because a lot of times you need to review. And one thing that I was doing with Cardone U is you'd review the meeting and figure out what the problem was. And then you'd go to that section and read it and listen to it. And Grant would be like, blah, 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 blah. You did this, and this is how you should have done it. And to be able to reflect, that's how a lot of people become from good to great salespeople, is to know. Because if you don't know, you don't know. And that Grant says that all the time. If you don't know, you don't know. And just to be able to recognize what the issue was is a nugget for everyone out there that's doing sales meetings, that's doing anything. Like, just to know where the issue was. And you can almost go back to that client and say, hey, look, blah, 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 blah. This is what happened. And if they give you the opportunity, you may be able to get back in. I mean, it's a follow-up. You're going to be able to follow up because you know what you did wrong.
And honestly, like, that was the other thing I was going to tell you is, like, that piece of vulnerability has gotten me so much second business, because I've gone back and said, hey, like, there's a client I had, Jim, and I said, hey, Jim, I realized in our meeting the other day that I didn't listen to what you said. I wrote it down, and then I didn't really tell you exactly how to solve that problem. And I have the solve, and I wanted to share it with you. And so, and I wanted to apologize that I didn't do it then, and that I kind of got wrapped up in, like, telling you all about other things that I could do for you when I really just didn't solve the problem. And so I wanted to call and give that to you. Like, I know we're not going to do business together and you've moved on, but I needed to tell you this because I know this will help you and this will work. And I want them back, right? And it was just kind of like admitting that you made that mistake. And most people love the fact that you're willing to do that because they want to do business with people who are going to be honest and ethical and have high integrity. And there's nothing more showing than you going back and admitting that you did something wrong, And
right.
And this is almost like, that's the whole thing with, like, when you do demos or you do presentations, like, if you don't ask enough questions, you're going to start spouting off about features and benefits. You're like going to keep talking about features and features and features. And then you're not really talking to, like, their problem, because all of the things that you're saying might not be even addressing their problem. And so if we don't become really good at asking questions and answering those questions and really listening to them, then you end up like misfiring on a lot of sales presentations. And I learned that early in the fitness world, because at 24-Hour Fitness, they had this like way of, you take the guest on this tour. It's like, we take a person in and like, oh, this is where we sell merchant like shit, like t-shirts and supplements. And then, oh, this is the kids club. And then this is the swimming pool. And this is the fitness area. This is the electric. And it was like, there was a way to go. And when I got in there, I was like, let me get this straight. I'm going to take this big old muscle head to the kids club and the pool. This bitch just wants to see the 100-pound dumbbells.
I was going to say, he only wants to see, do you have 100-pound dumbbells?
Yeah,
yes. Okay.
that was it. He wanted 100-pound dumbbells. So I was like, okay. And this is why I should have known early that I was an entrepreneur, because I was like, I am not following this rule. I am like not a rule follower. So I would take this, like, what are you most interested in? And they're like, oh, weights. Let's go see the weights. Boom. I didn't show them anything else. Look at what we got. We got this. How do you work out? What's your favorite machine? Let's go on it. Let's go do this. And then I'm like, do you have any other questions, or you just want to get started? Because this is what you like. Let's just get started, right? Or sometimes they would be like, oh, what's over there? Okay, well, let's go there. I made them tour me, right? Based on what they needed. And from then, all of a sudden, I could sell almost anything. So any industry I went into, it became like, you tour them, but they're really touring you. And if you're selling stuff and you're touring them, you're screwing up. Stop touring them and let them tour you. And that could be in any industry. Don't show them what you think they want to know, because we do not know. We are wrong. If you make assumptions, they're wrong, right? It's like if we tell our own story in our own head and we don't ask the question, it's a wrong story, or it's a bad story, And so that has been huge. And that's like always something I want to share with as many people as I can tell that are if you're in network marketing and you're having these conversations, like find out why they would even be interested. Don't tell them a bunch of reasons why you think they would be, like, because you're just guessing, and nobody likes that. It's annoying.
I love that. Let them tour you. That's a huge nugget in sales, because a lot of times people don't remember exactly how to do it, but they'll remember, let them tour you. Like Tony Robbins, ask better questions, you'll get better answers. And a lot of people are just like, well, here's the presentation, and this is how it goes, and this is how it goes, and this is what they told me to say, and this is how they told me to do it. It's like, ask them, what their your goal is to solve problems in sales, and ask them to find their biggest pain point. If they've never been on a vacation, or they've never lost weight, or they've never done this, then that's literally where you got to direct. That's where you got to take them on they need to take you on that tour.
Yeah. They take you on the tour, you solve the problems, right? Like you give the solutions as they're taking you to the sites,
Right.
And then if you provide enough solutions, then of course they're going to trust you and they're going to buy what you have, There'll be some cases where, and this is also a time saver, right? Like time is our most precious commodity. There's some times where somebody takes you on their tour and you can't fix their shit. So you should be like, you know what? I don't know if I have the right solution, but you might know somebody who does.
Right.
And I need to direct you to them because it wouldn't make sense for us to work together right now. And knowing and being okay with doing that will get you 10 more sales in the future, because you'll stop wasting all this time with somebody that you couldn't really help. Because if you think you can help everybody, then you're really not doing a good job. It's like, there's certain problems that you'll be able to solve better. There's certain problems I can solve better, in sales when it comes to like this kind of stuff, which is this like technique tweaks. That's why I say, like, I like to work with $1 million producers, because they're already doing something well. And if I could tweak their technique just a bit, then they can double and triple. What I'm not good at is like taking somebody who's like unwilling to work and like motivating them to do that. Like I have a really tough time with like being like a pitch man, or like a hype man, not a pitch man, like a hype man, like a rah-rah, like, come on, you could do this, go out and sell something. Like if you don't have that burn yourself like already, like I can't, like I got no time for it. Like Stephen Larson says, like Google that shit. Like a lot of times you could learn stuff from Google. Like stop wallowing in your own sorrows. Like I can't deal, And so I'm not the solver of that problem. And that's why I learned like I wasn't good in fitness, because it was like, these people were like, I'm still not losing weight. And I'm like, and you're still not working out. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Besides me going in your house and sleeping next to you and pushing your ass out of bed, putting your clothes on you, I don't know what to do, you know? And it was like, that is the most frustrating thing in the entire world. But there are some people that are really good at that. Really good at like motivating the shit out of people, getting them out of bed and making things happen and whatever, you know?
Not me.
But if that's your problem, which is like the sheer will or energy or want, I don't have a solution.
Right. And that's good to know that, you know, you can differentiate those clients. And then it's just a couple questions, you know, because a lot of times they're already saying that the excuses that are in their head are already there. It's like you're not gonna make a change because you're either comfortable or the pain's not big enough.
Not great enough, right? It is. It's not great enough to change yet. And when me and you talked the first time, you know, you were like, you know, what do you think about MLMs? And I did your little survey and stuff, you know, because I get pitched all the time, right? And you were like, I'm sure you do. And I'm like, yeah. And my answer is always the same. I don't think anything is wrong with the MLM business and network marketing. I mean, shit, I have this book right here. Like I got the book, okay? Because a lot of the processes in that are really good to use in other industries. And it's a very good industry. And if I had it my way, I'll create my own MLM one of these days, right? But I don't want to stick to somebody's rules. Like I have a really hard time with like rules, and I don't fit into that because I want to create my own stuff, even though that's like the harder way to go. And I know I could have this other ancillary income. I'm like, it would make me follow rules, which will then make me not the good, like the best version of me in all my other places, you know? And a lot of people like that pitch me on MLMs don't understand that. They're like, well, I don't get it. You could just do this on the side and you'll do really well. And it's like, I know I could do really well. I mean, I have a good friend that, you know, sells Melaleuca, and she's been in it for a really long time. She does a great job. I mean, I'm sure you know that company. Melaleuca's been around for like ages.
Never.
They have amazing products. I started to get their products back in 2010. And then my partner got sick with breast cancer in 2013. And then I really got into all that like cleaning solutions that were like non-bleach and all that stuff. And I really got into Melaleuca. And then she was like, you should sell it. And I was like, I'll suggest it, right? And I tripped on getting like 100 people into my business, and I was like making $6,000 checks. But I was like, Brooke, I don't want to do this. Like, I know I'm doing well at it because I believe in the product, right? But I don't want to do this forever. But so she was like, it's so funny because you just opted out of probably an amazing paycheck. And I was like, yeah, I did. But funny thing is, like, I'm still making that paycheck. So I still believe in the network marketing thing because I still buy Melaleuca because I believe in the products. And all my clients that were still buying the products, I still make a check. I've been making a check since 2010. Yeah, the check goes down if you don't work the business, but I still make a check of like $150 or whatever that pays for my products. You know what I mean? And I work the business for like 60 days. And then I was like, I don't like it. But you know what? It's just like, it's a great business, but it just wasn't for me, right? So if MLM people, network marketing people would ask me the right questions, they would know right away, I am not their client, you know? You should move on.
Right.
Because
Don't follow up with me 10 times because I'm not going to do it. It just, and
I'm a hard pass on that, you know?
A quick no is just as good as a yes.
Thank you. And that's why you're good at what you do, because it is absolutely, it's like, don't try to talk me into something. If you try, so that's the other thing, another good lesson. And I'm just like talking so much. So tell me, shut up.
You're doing awesome. This is a great interview.
The other part is like, I always tell people, if you're a good salesperson, you can literally talk people into shit. Right. And I learned that the hard way because I would talk people into it. And then it's like, then you're pushing them through it the entire time, right? Yeah. And you can't push a rope. And like, I was like, man, that was the worst thing ever. So if ever I can't solve the problem right away, or they're not going to be the ideal client, if I wanted to continue, I could sell them. I am a pretty decent salesperson. I know how to overcome objections. I can transfer emotion and get them excited about something and get them to say yes. And then I want to kill myself. So do not push them through the process. A no, Take the no. Sometimes it's a not now and it's a not yet. And I do believe that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that the no is because you can't literally solve their problem or serve them the way that you should, stop and move on. Because there's 100 other people that are waiting for you and you're wasting your freaking time on that guy, you know?
Yeah. And a lot of people will just, they need it. Like Steven says, if Mr. Jones across the street needs your opportunity, then he's not the right person.
Right. Yeah.
When you figure out who your real clients are and your real people are, and that's why, you know, when I did Corey Benshop's interview, I said, you know, make it harder for people to enroll into your company. I mean, it's like a job interview. If people, and we said it before, people will tell people about getting into something, getting accepted into something versus, oh, I just bought in. Like if I just bought in, then I don't really, you know, financially there was an investment, but you know, like Steven says, you're going to be a life coach for that person. And, you know, they're not always the best, and finding your avatar and finding the people that you're looking for is a huge thing in network marketing, in any business, but in network marketing it is, because you're partnering up with them for a long time.
Yeah, you have to.
Or you're damaging a relationship. And that's one thing that I like to tell people, like, you're either partnering up for a long time, or you're damaging a relationship, or you're becoming that guy. And I say it in my intro all the time, don't be that guy. Don't be the one that, you know, is always talking about your product and always doing this and always like you're the one guy, you're the Amway guy, you're the whatever. It's great to be the vacation guy. It's great to be the Amway guy in some parts.
In the right atmospheres, right? It's like, you know those people that you run from. Like I have certain people that I'm like, I will not get close to them because they're going to pitch me on their shit again. And it's like the most frustrating thing in the entire world, you know? And, you know, a lot of people, even my own business, right? It's like the same thing. Like I don't go out and talk about triple threat success. That's all I talk about. If it comes up, if they ask me, if I see that they have a problem that I could fix or help, I'll offer. Otherwise, I'm not like saying it all over the place. You know, it's like, it's just not, you lose yourself in that. I think, you know, you stop being you, and your tribe is attracted to you and your personality. And if you stop being that personality, then you'll stop attracting the right people. And then you just try to sell anyone. Mm-hmm. And then that is so obvious, right? It's like the whole show up and throw up. It's like, man, I feel thrown up on, you know?
That's true. All right. So the last thing I'm going to actually talk about is, you know, what are you working on today? We kind of talked about it, and then where can our audience find you? I'll actually post a lot of that in the show notes. I'll post it to the Triple Threat Success. I'll also post it to your Facebook page and your Facebook group. So that'll all be in the show notes for you. But what are you working on right now? I know you said something about the text campaign.
Yeah. So triple threat texting, which is basically I created a back-end product that allows people to set up an account and create text campaigns, you know, very similar to a lot of the products that are out there already. But in my business, and like I suggest to people all the time, is like, we need to be ahead of the bell curve. And right now you look at your phone and like you have 5,000 emails that are unread, and most people have that, but you have 0 texts, right? And text is becoming the new quick way to communicate, because what's popular right now? Fast, quick, Instagram, Facebook, like that. Like people want to know instant information, chatbots, all that stuff. So if we really want to nurture our clients and we want to like keep them excited about us or give them value constantly, create a text campaign. Don't create an email campaign that they're never going to open, or it's going to go to their junk. And so instead of referring people out, I was like, I'm going to build my own crap, you know? And so I got a team that built a platform for me, and we're launching Triple Threat Text October 1st. You know, you pay for credits, you pay for a certain amount for credits, and then you can, you know, open it up, do your thing, blast text, you know, it sends from short code. So you can pick like my word is hustle. So I'll do an event and I'll say, hey, text hustle to 484848. And then they automatically jump on my list. And then I'm like, thank you for joining my hustle. And then I'm nurturing the shit out of them through text, right? I'm like giving them little things, and you can send video on my text campaign. Like you can send a little short, you can turn your YouTube, code into a short code that you can then put into text, which is great. Cause a lot of times you can't send that stuff on other texting platforms. We can send really bright, vivacious pictures because that's what people like, they're like, oh, that's a cool picture. And then they read like what's on it. Right. Instead of like, just like a boring old, like words, like text message that everybody else is sending. And so that's what I'm really working on today is like fine tuning that. I follow Stephen Larson just like you do. And probably a lot of your watchers do. He's always like, you need to give a product ahead of the product. And so how I want to separate myself from like the easy texting or the text lines or those people is I'm niching into my category with triple threat text, but I also will sell it to anybody else. I mean, hell, if you need it, you should use it. But I'm giving other things ahead of it where I'm giving pictures that they can use for their holidays, pictures that they can use for their open house campaigns if they're a realtor, if they're doing an event launch. I'm pre-doing a campaign. So kind of like a done for you will be given to anybody who go ahead and joins triple threat texting. And so that's the content that I'm building right now. And then doing like little screenshots of like, this is how you steal the content and put it into your, into your platform, right? Because they're going to have their own platform that they can use. And I want them also to just take this done for you side, which I am building in ClickFunnels, and they can just steal this. And then how do you steal that and then put it into your thing? Because a lot of that, like sometimes those hows, like you said, they kind of get us like so bogged down that we never ever make it happen. And so I want to make it as easy as possible. So building those videos, getting that free stuff going. So when I launch, that it's going to be different. It's going to be unique. And people are going to know me for that, right? That this stuff has all this cool free shit on it. So I shouldn't be like, well, I can do easy texting or I can do text line. But if I can do this and get all this free shit, right? Like, why not?
Model.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to create a whole like network marketing folder because I know a lot of you guys, and I think it's a great business and you should be using text campaigns and why not, right? It's like use the modalities that are working, and it's a modality that's working. Everybody reads their text. It's quick, it's fast. If they don't like it, they can always opt out. It's important, so that's what I'm building.
It's a quick no, the opt out.
Absolutely. I'm like, when they hit stop, I'm like, oh, thank God.
No more. I can mark you off my list.
You're out of here. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm doing that. And then in 2020, I plan on launching the Hustle Playbook for entrepreneurs. So, so I got the Hustle Playbook for mortgage loan originators, and then I wrote the Hustle Playbook for real estate because those are my niches and those are where I serve. But then after being in entrepreneurship for 3 years, I feel capable of talking to the entrepreneur and showing them how I built this business in 3 years. And what I did on a day-to-day basis is like what's going to be in the playbook. Because like I told you earlier when we didn't talk about it in this podcast yet, but the Hustle Playbook is a planner on steroids. It basically speaks to you in your industry. And so I'll be telling entrepreneurs exactly what to do every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because a lot of times we get hung up in that like, they always say, what is that, analysis paralysis or paralysis analysis, however the hell you say it, that you're like, okay, I want to start. And then what happens like 2 hours later, you're like, I still want to start. It's kind of like when I say when I meditate, I'm like, I'm practicing meditation. I was meditating, and then I remember 3 hours later that I was supposed to be meditating. Like I start to meditate, and then I get like, all of a sudden I'm working. What happens in meditation, Erin? I don't know. I lost, like, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things. And I think that's what happens to entrepreneurs a lot of times. We start on something and then all of a sudden we're like not doing it anymore. Right. And we have to learn how to like, okay, do that thing, check it off. And then do that thing consistently every single Monday. Do that thing consistently every other Tuesday. Do that video every Tuesday. Serve on podcasts. Try to be a guest on things, like get out in front of people, go volunteer and do talks. Like I gave away so many free talks in 2017 and 2018. And then I've been getting paid for them in 2019, but I gave away so many free talks because that's where I got all my freaking information from. I would go to realtor offices and give like, you know, a motivational hustle speech talk, and then open up the forum with like, what do you guys need? And every time they told me what they needed, I was building the goddamn hustle playbook. Like, that was what I was doing. Like, that was it. I was just 100% stealing information as I was giving away a free talk.
It was an ask campaign. It was an ask campaign in front of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. That's why I like, when I found ClickFunnels, I was like, oh wow, some of the stuff I'm doing naturally, but now I have a better, like now they're giving me a real format, you know, telling you about the webinar, perfect webinar. It's like, I've been doing my presentations for so long and closing at a decent rate. I finally fine-tuned the perfect webinar and closed the shit out of a room, you know? And I was like, oh my God. Like, I called my partner right away and I'm like, I did it. I finally did it. I just made $21,000 in 70 minutes. I'm like, because I followed a scheme that I was like, I was like, I can't do that. I can't talk for 70 minutes. I can't be this regimented. I can't be like, it's not me. I was all wrapped up in my own ego. And the second that I let that go and then just did it, I like killed it. And now I follow that goddamn perfect webinar like it's my goddamn Bible.
Yes. The ego is not your amigo sometimes.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love that. Did you steal that from somebody?
I did.
Say it again.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Say it again. The ego is not your amigo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The last question I always ask with everybody is, in your business today, what's the one thing that keeps you up at night?
A lot of times what does keep me up at night is, what could I be doing better? How could I be improving, and how can I make that happen faster? That's what really keeps me up at night, because I can reflect and know the things that I should be doing, but then like, how do I make them better and faster is what keeps me up, you know? Because I don't have a lot of patience. A lot of us don't. That's why we're good at this. Kind of when you have that second where you don't know, or you haven't yet learned how to do it, that's frustrating for a lot of us, right? Because I'm competitive and I hate losing. I love to win, and it feels like a loss when you are at that point where you just don't know how to quite turn it on, right? Like, and what I've learned is like, you just have to go do things. Just like, when I wake up in the morning and I know what I was thinking about that night that kept me up until like 3 a.m. Right away in the morning, I like try to implement a strategy that I thought of, and I'm just going to see how it works, and then just see what the market tells me, and then just keep adding on to that until I actually come up with a solution. So that was like, you know, that's how I came up with the hustle program, was with my MLOs. Like, a lot of them, I was doing the one-on-ones and they were improving. They were, but their whole thing was like, how can I be different and attract other agents? Like, how can I be different? And I kept thinking like, how can I be different? And it was killing me, because I was like, you know, for me, difference is kind of easier. I'm super creative. I have a different aura about me. I have a different way to like talk about things. I get real deep with people right away. Like, I hate small talk. So I can do that naturally, but how could they like deliver a different sort of value? And that kept me up. And so that's why I started doing those talks to agents, and as an entrepreneur, and I wrote the book. And the reason why I wrote the book was because I could get into these realtor offices through my book. Hey, screw the BS, ignite your impact. I'm going to fire you guys up. But really my back end agenda was to get this answer to that burning question that was happening. And then once I got like the things that they were missing, the things that they really wanted to learn, all that stuff, I wrote the Hustle Playbook, built the realtor program inside the university, and then kind of flipped it. Like I told you, my MLOs invite realtors to their hustle, and the MLOs are my customer, and they just gift this to the realtors, right? And so it's this unique value proposition that they're able to give that nobody else is, unless they're in my program, right? And so it became a solution to that burning question that kept me up at night.
Wow. The thing that sells the thing.
That's it. That's it. It's crazy, right? And a lot of times, like, you know, people are like, I don't know what product to sell, or I don't know, you know, like what I can give, and you're just not listening.
Right.
Even if you have one client they're probably telling you exactly what you're really good at or what you should be selling them, you know? And that's the biggest thing. It's like, just listen to them. And then if it's keeping you up, start solving it in the morning, start figuring it out, start throwing things at it, and then see what the market says until you find a solution.
The super ass campaign at night at 3 a.m. that kept you up.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. It kills me. And I have like, I don't know about you, but I like write notes in my phone all the time, like in the little notes section, you know, and I'll like type stuff, and it's like the middle of the night, and I look at it in the morning, I'm like, damn, you were not like, you were fat finger and it's spelling shit, all kinds of messed up, but I don't want to lose that thought, because sometimes I'm like, okay, if that's keeping you up, you got to remember that and you got to address it. And then if I can address it, then I'll sleep better next day.
There you go. So thank you, Erin. Thank you for the interview. I'm going to post a lot of this stuff in the show notes. Again, everybody, always listen to the full outro. We're going to give away, we'll probably actually give away the book that she showed, Network Marketing Secrets, the playbook. Yeah,
you should.
So we'll do that. And just make sure you listen to the full outro. Is there anything, last words, that you'd want to give the audience, the nugget that says, oh, I'll remember Erin?
Your hustle keeps you humble, and that is it. You have to remember, once you achieve something, pick something else to achieve and start at the bottom, right? It's like, started from the bottom, now I'm here, right? Like, it's like, you gotta, like, you can't sit at the top. It's not fun. Like, that's not how we thrive. So once I launched Triple Threat Texting, it's like, I told you, I already know what I'm doing. I'm doing Hustle Playbook for entrepreneurs, because I need to be here in order to really like excel and serve and like be who I want to be in the world. So just remember that our hustle keeps us humble, and no matter what, if you just keep working, if you keep taking action, right? Like my dog tag says 100% action taker, triple threat success. It's like, I give this to my clients the second they decide to just take action, no matter what the fucking result's going to be, right? It's like, this is what happens, you know? So that's it. That's all I got. And I think you have all my Facebook stuff. It's like Triple Threat Success is my main business page. Erin Addesso is my private page. TripleThreatSuccessCoach.com is my website. And I'll send all that stuff to you, or you'll put that in the stuff.
But and we'll put it in the.
And I'm open to answering questions too. Like I love helping and serving, and a lot of times, like in other industries, teach me a ton, and that's what we can like learn from each other, and like anything I can do to help you, Eric, to help your team. If you want me to do any sort of anything, you know, for your team, you know, for your network marketing business, like I'm here for you, man. And a lot of my stuff does transfer, and we can figure out ways, and just ask me all kinds of questions, and I got you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. Again, guys, make sure you listen to the full outro. We will be giving away a book, free plus shipping. And thank you, guys. And we'll catch you on another podcast of Burnt Phone Marketing. This is Eric Sablon. We all know that the network marketing industry is changing with the evolution of the internet, with the evolution of social media. Well, there's a big secret out there, and it's called The Network Marketing Secrets book by Russell Brunson. And here at Burnt Phone Marketing, we are going to give that book to you for free plus shipping. Just go to www.burntphonemarketing.com/secrets. In this book, you're going to find the 3 secrets to helping to convert people online, just like a 3-way call, just like a home meeting, and just like a hotel meeting. So pick up your free copy today, free plus shipping at www.burntphonemarketing.com/secrets.